Hello everyone, and welcome to my Royal Family official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The King took part in the historic ceremony of the Keys today, which is the traditional start to Holyrood Week for the royal family. His Majesty 74 is in Edinburgh for the usual week of celebrations in Scotland, which will include several firsts for the King, including a special Thanksgiving ceremony on Wednesday at Testigilles Cathedral, when Charles will be presented with the honours of Scotland, the nation's crown jewels. The King was given the keys to the city and welcomed to his old and hereditary kingdom of Scotland during today's event. Members of the Royal Company of Archers formed a guard of honour. During the ceremonial, the King returns the keys, giving them to the city's elected officials. Earlier today, Charles paid a visit to Kinnell House in Bowness, Falkirk, to meet with representatives from charities including his own, the Prince's Trust, Cycling Without Age Scotland, and Sustainable Thinking Scotland. Crowds greeted him at the mansion, where he saw the cylinder of the engine built by legendary Scottish inventor James Watt, dressed in a traditional tartan kilt and sporran. In 1765–73, the engineer's covert development work on the prototype steam engine took place at the house, the historic home of the Dukes of Hamilton, and adjoining James Watt Cottage. The King also planted a tree to honour the estate's centennial as a public park and visited with charity officials and beneficiaries. Lexi Scotland, the Bowness Fair Queen, who was dressed in formal robes and a crown, was among those he greeted. The King complimented Lexi on her accomplishment, and Lexi and the crowd welcomed him to Kinnell House. Lexi said it was amazing to be crowned the newest Bowness Queen, and she enjoyed meeting the King and his entourage. She stated, "I was extremely anxious, but I was also delighted to meet him." May Garrow, 99, who was proclaimed Bowness Queen in 1936, joined Lexi. May was meeting the King for the first time. "I've never truly shook hands with him before," she explained. "I'm not going to wash that hand again." May was questioned if she still had her gown from when she was crowned Bowness Queen. "I've still got the dress," May assured reporters. "It used to be white, but it's now a dark creamy colour. I'm not sure I get into it now." May turns 100 on February 24 and is looking forward to hearing from the King. May claimed it was a wonderful day, adding that she appreciated the King's company and saying, "He makes it easy for you to talk." "She's had a good day, and when she's my age, she'll come back," she said of Lexi. Maria Ford, who helps organise the fair, says they've been trying for a royal visit for years. "We pushed and pushed for a royal visit, but simply never got it. But now everything's come together, and it's like the last piece of the jigsaw," she said. Later, the King met with Sustainable Thinking Scotland, STS, which is based at Kinnell House. The organisation grows sustainable food, which is then distributed in the form of food parcels. According to co-director Steve McQueen, the King told him that the cherries they grew were the biggest he'd ever seen. "I think the King sees the community benefiting from all that we're doing, whether it's farming food, environmental or community work," said Scene Care, another director. "It was nice to be able to discuss everything with him, and perhaps we can take it farther. It's very nice to be able to highlight all of the amazing work that all of the organizations we deal with accomplish," he added. "It's a delight for me to be able to highlight the people we work with who do such a terrific job in Falkirk, and we're proud to be a part of it." The visit is the first of a series of engagements across Scotland during Holyrood Week, the first since his coronation. On Wednesday, Charles will be presented with the honours of Scotland, the nation's crown jewels, at a special Thanksgiving service at Testigilles Cathedral. Every year, the Queen spends a week at the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh, which is known as Holyrood Week or Royal Week in Scotland. Despite having reduced her formal activities due to mobility difficulties, Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II travelled to Edinburgh in 2022 to be present at the Palace of Holyrood House for her farewell ceremony of the Keys. The late monarch, who had a profound love for Scotland and died in September 2022, was joined by Prince Edward and Sophie, who have since assumed the titles of Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh following her death. The Queen was presented with the keys to the city by Edinburgh Lord Provost Robert Aldridge, who was dressed in a powder blue silk wool coat and dress by Stuart Parvin and a hat by Rachel Trevor Morgan. The King is supposed to return them, entrusting their care to the city's elected officials. Meanwhile, the order of service for the King and Queen's coronation ceremony in Edinburgh this week has been revealed. During a Thanksgiving and dedication service at St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh on Wednesday, Charles will be presented with the honours of Scotland, the country's crown jewels. The ceremony will include centuries-old features of Scottish royal tradition, as well as new additions such as music produced especially for the occasion, of psalms in Gaelic, and the use of New Testament portions in Scots. The sermon will be delivered by Art Rev Sally Foster Fulton, moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland, followed by a blessing to conclude the service. Nicola Benedetti, a violinist, will be among the artists performing, as will Olympic rower Dame Catherine Granger, who will wield the Elizabeth sword, which will be used in place of the Sword of State. The Prince and Princess of Wales, also known as the Duke and Duchess of Rothesay in Scotland, will be present. Scotland's First Minister, Humza Yousaf, will read at the ceremony, and other politicians going to include Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross, Scottish Labour leader Anas Sarwar, and Scottish Liberal Democrat leader Alex Cole Hamilton. At the outset of the service, Rev Callum I. MacLeod, pastor of St Giles, will give the welcome and call to worship. It is a tremendous honour and delight to welcome Their Majesties King Charles and Queen Camilla to St Giles on such a joyous occasion, he said. His Majesty has visited the cathedral numerous times, and this will undoubtedly be a fitting location for a service of thanksgiving and dedication during His Majesty's first visit to Scotland following the coronation in May. St Giles was most likely founded about 1124 by David I. Therefore, there has been a strong royal connection since the beginning, approximately 900 years ago. The service will include 5 new pieces of music commissioned for the occasion, including Balmoral Flourishes by composer Paul Miller, which will be performed by the Household Cavalry's state trumpeters. Joy Dunlop will sing a Gaelic psalm created specifically for the ceremony by Miller in honour of Scotland's linguistic history. Other faiths and Christian denominations will also make gifts. The sceptre and crown from the honours of Scotland, as well as the Elizabeth sword, will be delivered to the King at the ceremony. This is a new sword designed to replace the current Sword of State, which was given to James IV by Pope Julius in 1507, but can no longer be used due to its delicate state. The Elizabeth sword will be carried by Dame Catherine, the Lord Justice Clerk by Lady Dorian, and the Crown of Scotland by the Duke of Hamilton. What a joy to welcome Their Majesties the King and Queen back home to Scotland and to join in the national service of thanksgiving and dedication on July 5, Mrs. Foster Fulton added. A People's March of about 100 community groups will collect the honours from Edinburgh Castle prior to the service. The Royal Regiment of Scotland and its Shetland pony mascot, Corporal Cruachan IV, will then lead the march to the cathedral, accompanied by cadet musicians from the combined cadet force pipes and drums. Meanwhile, a royal procession will move from the Palace of Holyrood House to the cathedral, with spectators lining the Royal Mile to see both processions. On Monday, rehearsals were performed on the Royal Mile and outside the cathedral in preparation for the celebrations later that week. At the conclusion of the St Giles service, a 21-gun salute will be fired from Edinburgh Castle before the royal procession returns to the palace. The Stone of Destiny will be present for the ceremony, and there will be a fly-past by the Red Arrows following it. Republic, an anti-monarchy advocacy group, said it expects a strong attendance along the procession route. The group will also work with the Scottish Republican group Our Republic, which will hold a rally outside the Scottish Parliament. Everyone in the UK should have the freedom to choose our head of state, not be told it will be Charles, said Graham Smith, Republic's chief executive officer. Charles does not represent the people of Scotland in the same way as he does the rest of the United Kingdom. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.